Welcome back into Twin Cities Live. So, the holidays are fun and festive, but, when you have to do the holidays without someone you love, it can be a little difficult.
Yeah, it's especially that first holiday season, and that is currently what the family who runs Haskell's is going through. We know this is relatable to a lot of you who've lost someone you love. Earlier this year, their CEO, Jack Farrell, passed away. Jack was so knowledgeable, just like a joy of a human to be around. I love that photo came up when I said the word joy. I mean, a bigger-than-life personality.
Absolutely. So Jack's legacy lives on through his silly son, Ted, plus a special at Haskell's this month. So Ted joins us, and as we can see, your dad was every bit as silly as you were.
Wow, I just thought there was going to be a graphic on me, but that's just awesome.
Oh, that was so sweet. I mean, I know, I just think for a lot of people watching, you've lost someone really beloved. How are you guys feeling this holiday season? I'm sure you're finding ways to honor Jack.
Sticking and jabbing, and you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to roll through it, and he'd be the first guy to tell me get back to work. So that's what we do, and we just try to sell a little wine and spread cheer throughout the metro area, and everybody have a grand time with it, and realize it is Christmas, but there's a lot of joy to be had.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, you guys are doing it still. You guys are carrying on this legacy, and what do you guys do every year? So this is a big case of wine. For your dad.
It's a big case of wine. The great thing about this, it started so organically. My father used to brew up a little case for about 8-10 of his buddies. Mm-hmm. We'd have to go to deliver it around the metro area, and they always enjoyed getting it. He'd put a little description in there of what to serve it with, maybe a recipe or whatever. Eventually, a couple of those guys kind of came in the stores and flabbergasted the store saying, Jack sent me a case of wine. I want to send that to my friends. And they didn't know, so they'd scramble in phones and faxes, and people kind of trying to figure it out.
Faxes?
And eventually, yes, faxes. We still have a fax machine in our office.
Oh boy, I'll need to borrow it sometime.
But it just grew organically, where all of a sudden people liked it, and they loved sharing it, and they kept on going and going. And so my father took great pride in sitting down throughout the course of the year. So about half of these wines are procured exactly by him. So as we bring in some wine and we taste it up, whether it's up at the farm or in the office, he kind of winked at me and said, Ted, make sure we have about 10, 15 cases of this left over for Christmas, because this is a wine I like. I want to put this in the case, so we would, to make sure it was all insured that, he was taken care of. And so these are all wines with great stories behind them, things to serve them with, and just a joy to be it. And we have wines from all around the world to enjoy.
So when you buy it, you get 12 bottles of wine, so it's the full case, but you brought a few of them for us to try.
Right. We don't have time to demo the whole 12. We could, maybe a little later on today, we could try that. We can give it our best college effort. What we're going to do is just go through a quick 4 of them. The first one we're going to start out is a Bourgogne Chard by the Goichot family. Now, my father would rise up out of his grave and spear me if we didn't have some Burgundy in his wine. We were just there as a family, but this one in particular, he loved a great Bourgogne Chard, 100% Chardonnay, so easy, well to drink. The Goichot family, we've been doing business with for about 7 or 8 years, with for us is a little bit of a short time, but it's been a great time. I was with his brother about 3 weeks ago, but it's fun, but it's just a great, wonderful Chardonnay.
I love this.
Yeah, it's so unassuming because it's very light looking and is it's so flavorful. I mean, you wouldn't think that. You're like, look at this little innocent little white wine. And it's got so much flavor.
We should have some cheese.
It's très magnifique. The Burgundy Valley is where they perfected the growth of Chardonnay. They don't over oak it in many cases. It's so easy. It's so pleasant. But it's a wonderful, wonderful expression of Chardonnay.
Oh, my gosh.
One of my favorites.
That's very, very good.
Okay.
Next up.
Okay. Now we got a red.
Now we're going over to Italy. This one in particular. Now, this one, there might be a limited timeline on this. I don't know how much longer we have, because our friend Luca Innocenti, who helped us bring this in, was his neighbor's wine. They got to fight, so I don't think we're going to get this one in particular, but it's the Invidio. It's a wonder. It's technically just a Rosso, right? And the Italians have some of the rules that they have, so they can't call it a Tuscany wine or a Chianti because they use those grape varietals that they brought in from France. So there's a little bit of Cabernet Franc, there's some Merlot. It's a little bit different shades. But if you're doing a classic Bolognese, and I know you have a recipe for that Bolognese, this is a match made in heaven. And Tuscany was kind of the stepchild of Burgundy that my father loved so much. The people are warm, they're wonderful. Whether you go out boar hunting or truffle hunting and that kind of stuff, you come home to a great, great meal, and you have wonderful wines that just pair up so well. So we had to include this. Now, the only caveat is When I run out of that, I don't know if I can talk to the other family anymore to get the more wines.
I am very deeply invested in this neighborhood drama now, though. I got to figure out what's going on.
This has to be a Netflix show.
I'm sure it was somebody's goat crossed the street into somebody else's goat, but that's up to the Italians. I just try to sell their wines.
Oh, I love it. It's really nice. It's like full. It's just the right amount of dry. Tasty.
Yeah. I want to go truffle hunting with that.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the Flechas de los Andes. Again, it's a Argentinian wine made with the French style. This is the Rothschild's wine. You see the 5 arrows on the label.
Yeah.
The 5 arrows stand for when, back in the 1700s, when there was one Rothschild who had 5 sons, sent them off to the different capitals to start up banking. But they went down to Mendoza. They used the French winemaking styles to make those great, great Malbecs. Obviously, you can throw this with barbecued ribs, but anything char-grilled, red meat, off the grill, boom, that's your guy. I'll say this. Drink a little bit too much of this. The next day, your tongue might turn a little extra purple. It's very extracted. So don't think you have the plague. You just had a good time.
Okay, this is fantastic.
I know, it's really good.
I don't know what I was thinking about it, but it's a very aromatic. I'm not even sure what it is. Is it like chocolatey or something? Like there's a deep tone in there.
There's great characteristics to it, but that chocolate nuance to it, and there's a little bit of even eucalyptic, so to speak. But there's just so many things going on. But again, it's a great soil to make Malbec down in Argentina, but done with the French flair.
You just learned that you love Argentinian Malbec.
I didn't know that.
What a great day to be alive.
I know.
This is terrific. All right, one more.
Now, lastly, we have the Gigondas by Grage. Gigondas is a great, great old place. I remember as a kid, my dad would say, go get some good wine that we're having something big and robust. We go down there. This pairs brilliantly with anybody doing any game, whether people are coming home with venison or pheasant or duck, things like that. Very earthy. Gigondas literally translates in the old French. Actually, it's more Latin. The place to hang your sandals, because they used to, a lot of the Romans used to live in and around Avignon, but they go up into this village of Gigondas to hang the sandals to recoup. So we had a thing about snowbirds. The Romans had, sandal birds where they go up and hang it up. But it's a blend
stories you got. Great.
It's a blend of Syrah and Grenache, more on the heavy side of Grenache, but that Syrah gives it a great pepperiness to it, a little bit of earthiness to it, but again, roast, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're sitting out at the fire, build a fire in the backyard, enjoy this.
Yeah.
You could thwart this weather, no problem with this wine.
Wonderful, Ted.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. I mean, if these 4 are any indication of how the rest of them are going to be, I would absolutely get your hands on that Jack Farrell case. And of course, we're thinking of you and your family this holiday season. Get after it.
I know. I actually just grabbed that little Argentinian guy back. So
today's a new day.
I know. Jack Farrell's holiday gift case of wine is $199.99 at Haskell's this month. You can pick it up in store or online. You can have it ordered online and shipped to you as well. See all the wines Jack selected and his descriptions for each one as well on TwinCiesLive.com.